I see their frustration every day. I feel their frustration. Are we doing enough? Absolutely not. Are we going to do more? And when I say we, it's not just the United States, obviously, it's the entire international community.
But people 200 meters from the airport aren't getting enough food. They're not getting any food.
Well, I'll take that back in. That's a piece of data that I didn't know. We've got troops here from Canada. We have troops coming from France.
That's troops, though. That's fine. But, again, the aid isn't getting out.
Well, the international aid that's coming is tremendous as well. We have, as you pointed out, a significant challenge is the distribution of this aid.
Today, that's Bill Neely of our British broadcasting partner ITN confronting American Lieutenant General Ken Keane about homeless Haitians, people homeless after the earthquake 8 days ago, people who are encamped within sight of Port-au-Prince Airport who say they have received no food, no water, no aid of any kind. As the distribution problems and the crises in Haiti continues, there are continuing to be some bright spots to be able to report in terms of the relief effort, but obviously things are not getting everywhere they need to be. We can report now that the American hospital ship, the USNS Comfort, finally dropped anchor near Port-au-Prince and began taking on patients. Also, incredibly, people are still being pulled out of the rubble alive, including a 15-day-old baby who spent half her life trapped under rubble in Jacmel. Overnight, a brother and sister named Tiki and Sabrina were rescued and not seriously harmed, even after more than a week under the rubble. And the last orphan of a group of 54 made it safely to the U.S. this morning. Her name is Emma. She was supposed to come to Pittsburgh yesterday, but she apparently wandered away just before the plane took off. That plane was arranged by Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell, who accompanied these other orphans from an orphanage run by two sisters from Pittsburgh back to his home state. Joining us now from Washington, D.C. is Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell. Governor, thanks very much for joining us. It's good to have you on the show.
Good evening, Rachel.
Can you explain how you got involved with this group of Haitian orphans, and can you tell us how they're doing now?
Sure. These are two Pittsburgh natives. They're sisters, not religious sisters, but blood sisters, who have been workers in that orphanage for a long time. In fact, most of the kids consider them their mom and their dad. They call for help after the earthquake. 2 of the 3 buildings of the orphanage were destroyed. The kids were living outside with no sanitation, very little water and food. The sisters called for help to the University of Pennsylvania, University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. Great folks there. They got in touch with me. I got in touch with the State Department, with DHS and Immigration. And by the way, all of the U.S. government agencies were terrific in getting this done. We arranged to get a plane. A private donor paid for a plane with Republic Airlines. We flew down with 25 medical personnel and 2.5 tons of medical supplies for a hospital in rural Haiti. And those supplies, by the way, have gotten to the hospital subsequently. And we got there, and we had been told we could take the orphans out. And in the next 6.5 hours, all hell broke loose. At first, we were told no. Then I got on the phone with Secretary Clinton's chief of staff, and we got that order temporarily reversed. Then the embassy said we could only have 28 of the 54 kids, even though 47 already had adoptive families in the U.S. and Canada. The 2 girls dug their heels in and said, we're not leaving unless everybody goes. We're one family. We get back on the phone, and the National Security Council advisor down there, with the help of Congressman Jason Altmaier, was with us. He called Rahm Emanuel's office. They got back to the NSC chief. Finally, he tells us everyone can go, all 54. Well, that was good news, except our plane had to leave without us because you're only allowed a limited time on the tarmac because so many planes are trying to get in. We had no plane. I went to a young major by the name of Miller down there, and I said, Major, what are we going to do? He said, don't worry, Governor, I'll get you a plane. And in an hour and 3/4, 53, we thought it was 54, 53 young Haitians, half of whom are below 3 years of age, 25 medical workers, myself and a few others, we were strapped into a C-17, and you know how big that is? These kids had never been on an airplane before. The C-17 made an incredible amount of noise. None of these kids cried. None of them got upset, and we were winging our way. It was only as we were about to take off, we did one last count and found that Emma wasn't there. And we told everyone, let's go. The sisters wouldn't leave without Emma. One sister, Jamie, decided to stay behind and look for Emma. The other sister, Allie, wanted to, but I persuaded her that we'd need her at immigration in the U.S., and we sure as heck did. Jamie goes, and we go off we land in Orlando Sanford Airport, get an email. They found Emma. Emma didn't wander away. She fell asleep on the bus, and she didn't make it in to the airport. But Jamie found her on the bus. We arranged for Jamie to fly home. U.S. Air gave them free air traffic home. She's back home in Pittsburgh with 53 other incredible kids. It was a great story. We were on the ground for 6.5 hours. It seemed like 6.5 days, but boy, was it worth it. It's the best single day I've spent as governor. And let me tell you, these Haitian kids are terrific. They were singing. They were full of optimism. And Rachel, you should have seen them when we got off the plane in Pittsburgh. It was snowing. And not one of them had ever seen snow. Not one of them. And listen, be proud of being an American citizen, and be proud of your government. With all the hurdles, we're doing great. I was on the tarmac for 6.5 hours, and I saw the United States military do incredible things in getting planes in and out and getting relief efforts. And I know some people aren't getting aid, but our 2.5 tons of medical supplies made it to this hospital in LaRue that had been partially destroyed. They made it there. We're doing the best we can, and no one but the American military could be doing the job we're doing. So it's a good time to be proud of being an American citizen, and proud of the American people, because our people have responded in incredible ways. We do our best as Americans in times of crisis.
It's also an incredible story of you pulling more strings than any other one person in any one story ever. Governor Rendell, it would be a political TV show malpractice for me to have you here and to not ask you a couple of politics questions about what just happened in the United States last night. Can you hold on for a second? We can come back and talk about that?
Absolutely. Love to.
The interview continues with Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell, just back from his whirlwind trip to pick up more than 50 orphans in Haiti. Governor Rendell is our guest again when we come back. Stay with us.